going to introduce you. How do you want me to introduce you as?
Just Mikey.
Just Mikey? Just Mikey?
No. No relation.
No relation.
Uncle Ruckus, no relation.
Alright. What is up, horror hounds? I'm here with my friend Mikey, and we are going to be talking about his top 5 favorite horror movies of right now, all time. Possibly all time. Yes.
Of the 80s.
Of the 80s, I guess. Yes, Mikey is heavily influenced by the 80s, and I appreciate it a great deal. So, we're going to get into our first trailer, which is...
Gremlins.
Gremlins from 1984. Alright, Mikey, I need you to tell me why this movie is fucking cool.
Okay. So, I watched this movie for the first time when I was like 5. Scared the living shit out of me.
Really?
And, you know, when I rewatched it when I got older, it was just like way more funnier. And I loved it. Like, just all these little tiny creatures that, like, just take over a town and party. Like, the bar scene was probably one of the best.
The bar scene was really sweet.
Oh, it was amazing. And especially with, like, the female just, like, pole dancing and, like, you know, little dude's coming up with the puppet and just making fun of him, shoots him, you know? It's just classic. It's all goofy and corny, and that's why I, like, love this movie
what about
a great
it?
deal.
What about it scared the shit out of you when you were younger?
I don't know. For some reason, those little green guys just terrified me. Because I love movie monsters. No, I didn't get it today, but, like, I've had it for a while. It's just... No, like, you know, I love it. The origin story was amazing, too, because, you know, Billy, you know, runs into... Or, wait, no, Billy's dad goes into a Chinese store, and he's just like, yo, what up? What's going on in the back? And, you know, he's just like...
I need to buy that shit for my kid!
I need to buy it for my kid for Christmas! Even though he's irresponsible and still lives in the attic. And, like, probably what took a turn for that movie, you know, if you really looked at, like, the reality of it, like, why would you buy your kid something that has way too much responsibility?
That you have no fucking idea how to take care of.
Like, you left your dog in the snow. There's little parts in that movie just make me laugh so hard when they just overcharged her chair to go up the staircase. She flies out the window.
Yeah.
Girlfriend's like, who the fuck is that? And they're like, that's Mrs. Deagle.
Yeah! And then the town rejoiced! It's even right there. She slams the gremlin into the microwave.
A couple versions of this movie don't even, like, have it. Like, some disc copies, they don't even show that scene.
Really?
Yeah, they, like, cut it out because it was too
violent.
Oh, yeah. I always wondered, too, like, what if a gremlin jumped in the ocean? You know? Is that game over?
I mean, probably.
Probably. Yeah.
Salt water doesn't count.
Where did that rule come from?
They're sodium deficient.
What do you mean they're sodium deficient?
Apparently Corey knows their dietary system. Can't eat meat.
Sure it's mentioned somewhere in the course.
No, it's fucking not.
Salt water doesn't
No, it's not, Corey.
He jumped in a pool of chemicals.
Yeah, dude, that was
Like
a fucking
chlorine.
swimming pool.
Great fucking movie.
Gremlins is great.
Definitely my number one pick. Just because, you know, I watch it every Christmas.
Do you really?
It's my tradition.
Okay.
You know?
Alright.
You gotta watch the Gremlins destroy the holidays. Check your cabinets.
Alright, so moving on to number 2.
Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead 2.
With Bruce Campbell.
With Bruce Campbell.
Logically, who would go back to that cabin after the first experience? Like, that was terrifying.
Nobody
for him.
fucking did. Nobody. Well, the first one was supposed to be super scary, but this one takes...
The corny
It's
factor.
got to be at least on my in the top 3 of horror comedies for me. Evil Dead 2. Like, I probably watched this movie.
Oh, it's hilarious.
At least 2 times a year. At least.
I fell asleep to this movie every night for like 4 months straight.
I did that for a while too, and there's a good reason for it because it's flawless.
Oh no, my headless demonic girlfriend's gonna try to kill me.
And then you've got the rednecks that come in. About it, Joe! Yeah. Is it just like a kind of like a well, this feels like home.
Well,
or this is a nice warm fuzzy feeling.
It makes it for me because, like, you know, it's funny, it's comedic, it's corny, but, like, you know, I'm sure in the 1980s people were like, oh my god, like, what's going on now?
Top 10 fitting in there somewhere for me because it's something that I have a tendency to go back to as well.
Yeah.
Like, well, I feel like I just need to have a me night. Sort of.
Honestly, my favorite scene in this movie is when everything in the house just starts laughing, and then he just breaks down and finally starts laughing with it. He's like, oh yeah,
your last job and my last job. Like,
Fair
alright,
enough.
well, I'm gonna have to sit here and do this.
like yeah, I'm cool with watching the world burn while I'm on it. Why not?
Alright, we're gonna go even further into the 80s, or further back, I guess. And we're gonna go with
The Thing.
The
We're
Thing
hitting The Thing.
from 1982.
And this is why I don't bring dogs off the street from the beginning of it. But this movie hits me because it taught me a lot about trust. And like,
as it fucking should.
I don't know. Super gory and just, I'm a big fan of gore. I like seeing bodies being decapitated or like arms chopped off, and then all of a sudden they grow legs and hands and a mouth, and then they just like move around. And like, but it does teach me, like, if there's ever contamination, you don't trust anybody.
No.
Not even yourself.
Ever.
They got the helicopter.
I mean, that counts. Yeah. So there was the gore factor, and there was the campiness. Like, even to this day, I don't think that any part of this movie is campy. Like, there's parts of this movie where I'm like, ah!
Questionable. Very questionable, but a lot of parts,
Okay.
But they killed it the whole time. Like, I didn't dislike a single scene in this movie at all. I was always on the edge of my seat the entire time watching it, and that pumped my nads, It got me into the zone. I was like, whoa, like, how much worse could it get? It gets a lot worse.
My nuts?
Yeah, dude. But, like, honestly, just the way it started out, they saved this husky that just randomly shows up to this really cold, base, and...
Right, and all these assholes are shooting at the dog or whatever from the other helicopter, and they're like, hey, man, don't shoot at the dog.
Like, loot him inside.
Yeah, he's cold. If they're cold, or if you're cold, they're cold, right?
Bring them inside.
Bring them inside. Like, don't fucking do that ever. Oh,
This is what really started me on, like, movies where it starts with groups of people and then one by one they all get picked off.
okay.
That's what got me mostly interested in movies nowadays, to that kind of factor, because, like, you just know one's going to be a survivor now at most, like, murder movies or horror movies. Like,
That's fair. I do understand where you're pulling from this. Absolutely, like, this kind of set the precedent for, like, all right, well, there's going to be, like, maybe one or two people left because this movie set the tone for everything else.
I think you're making a mistake. I think you really want to talk.
The Fly.
Sorry,
And, this is what really inspired me about
It's something
Mikeys.
to change the
It
world.
made me realize that everyone deserves love. Even if you're turning into a mutated fly monster from a teleportation machine that you created.
Let's keep going with that.
Better love story than Twilight.
I mean, you could throw a fucking brick at a paper wall and it would be better. But
I didn't think this man would start turning into a fly after teleporting in his machine. I didn't think he was going to impregnate a woman with fly human DNA, and then it gets more brutal after that.
it does. It gets really gross. It gets really fucking gross.
She watches him go insane. In that one scene where he puked on his food in front of her and then starts slurping it up.
Like, yeah, I do. It's burned into my retinas.
You finally did it, you son of a bitch!
Oh my God. Outside of, like, why is this movie on your top 5?
It's because the gore. Well, not really. There's not really gore in this movie, but just seeing a human go through all those changes, like, I loved watching every second of it. I couldn't take my eyes off the screen, because I was just so curious what was going to happen next with Jeff Goldblum turning more into a fly than he already was. No, this movie had my interest completely, and that's why I went and watched the original version back in the 1950s, and I was still just as interested as when I watched this for the first time. And this movie just, like, hit that horror factor that I was craving, and it just hit that point where I was like, I love this movie, and it's definitely on my top 5, like, all day.
Okay.
amount of technology. They killed it with the special effects all day.
Alright.
Especially when he turned full fly. It's just like,
Oh,
whoa!
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's a monster and a half.
You need to watch the second one.
I didn't even know there was, so
You need to. You really do.
it's on my list. That's on my list.
It should be. Because, man, like, there's fucking... Whoa.
Does it get way worse?
Oh my god,
Oh,
dude.
man.
He pukes on. Okay.
Just kidding.
All
I'm just
right,
kidding.
well,
I'm just kidding.
That's all
That
we got
concludes
time tonight
today's
for you
session.
guys. And thanks, Mikey, for being here. We'll see you never again. Oh, that was it. That was the scene where he barfed on his hands.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it melted through the shotgun and his hand.
God, and the makeup they put on Jeff Goldblum is outstanding.
Fly.
The Fly, watch
The
it.
Fly. The Fly, watch it. Indeed.
On the
Indeed.
Fly.
On the Fly. Yes. All right.
I think it's number 5.
Is this number 5?
think
Oh,
it's
yeah,
number
it has
five.
to be number 5,
I
right?
think
We're
we're
doing
fine
top
with
5.
it. Yeah.
Our fifth and final movie of the evening,
Hellraiser.
Hellraiser.
I'm just gonna get the joke out of the way. This movie's about a bald guy who just wants to play with his weird skewer. But is the gore and the amount of death in this movie. Like, all these people get killed, turn into demons that all, do the bidding of Hellraiser.
Beyond any terror you have imagined.
Honestly, just the amount of gore in this movie just
A nightmare.
really gets me in the zone for, like, horror movies.
Unlike anything you have witnessed.
They really hit a huge factor, especially in the 80s, because, like, I'm pretty sure they had the debate whether they should show this to people or not.
There's actually not an unrated version of this movie that can be found anywhere, which is a fucking crime.
Some of the death scenes in this movie, you're just like, I did not expect her to be ripped in half and then, like, pulled apart even more than that. I didn't even know that could happen,
Yeah.
But, yeah, just the amount of gore in this movie really, like,
You're
caught
a
my
gore.
attention.
You're a gore guy.
I love
aren't
gore.
you?
I love gore. If there's a
Yeah.
murder in a movie within the first 5 minutes, I'm all in. Like, I'll watch it till the end. I don't care.
You say that now.
Do you think I'm gonna be?
I have such sights to
Do
show
nothing.
you. Oh, man. Because I could talk about this movie all day.
I could too.
All fucking day.
I mean, this was kind of just. This is the baseline. All their other maybe 6
The
movies.
unholy
You know,
is
anything
unleashed.
past, like, 4. Or, no, 6. 6 is good. 6 is okay.
It was pretty decent. But, like, this was like right when they, like, didn't expect people to love it as much as they did. And then, boom, huge fan base. All kinds of horror movie lovers will love this movie even from the beginning. Like, just, the demons. The demons and the monsters. It's awesome. It's awesome. And then there's only one survivor at the end of this movie, right?
Well, I mean,
Technically?
kind of.
Kinda.
Yeah. Thank you so much for
Of
being
course.
here tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for going over your top 5 with me, and I appreciate it. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget about Retro Access Deluxe, and nobody else has, except for us that are running the channel, it seems like. But, also another story for another day. So, I believe that is it for us tonight, and we will see you guys in the future.
Future.
No, don't,
I'll go again.
don't do that. Alright, well,
Never been sure about anything in my life.
well, me neither.
Okay.
Well, I mean, with the exception of my marriage. That was the only thing that I've ever been sure about.
Bless
Ever.
your heart.
Indeed. Yeah, indeed. Is it?
Is it? I know it's got like ammonia in it or some shit, but
You said
when's
that
the last
like
time
you
you drank
knew.
pee?
You said that like you knew that you drank your own pee.
I mean,